You know what YouTube wants more than anything else? They want to make you, the viewer, happy with the video that you clicked on. They do this by looking at tons of signals that you give them by using their site, and then they use that information to find videos that are most likely to make you happy. Knowing that piece of information is the secret to growing your YouTube channel this year. So let's talk about why. There are two reasons that people use YouTube. Number one, to be entertained, and number two, to learn something, or sometimes both. Making a video that does both at the same time is actually really hard to do, and you're going to think that you've got it sometimes, and sometimes you're going to be right, and sometimes you're going to fall on your face. It's going to drive you absolutely crazy when you post a video and it doesn't perform the way that you think that it will, because you put a lot of work into that video. But you know who doesn't know or care how much work you put into it? The audience. What they care about is, does your video do what they want it to? Does your video help them in some way? If the answer to that is no, then you shouldn't post that video, at least not on that channel. If you still want to make a video that doesn't do anything for your current audience, then you should probably post that video somewhere else. In fact, that's what I'm doing here. This isn't my only channel. This is my new channel, and my current audience wouldn't ever want to watch the videos that I'm going to post here. They subscribed to my main channel because they wanted to hear my thoughts on video game news. If I started posting videos about content creation over there, no one would watch, no one would click, and YouTube would think that's because it's a bad video, and it would stop giving that video any more impressions, essentially putting a nail in the coffin for that video. So you have to come up with a good picture of who your audience is. For this channel, my intended audience are people that want to learn how to take their creative content and push it to the next level. I'm certainly not saying that I'm an expert at this, but I want to learn this stuff together with you. Now, whether or not YouTube agrees with me on that idea of who my audience is, that's a completely different conversation. For me, I want to make my videos about content creation because I love this stuff. I started on YouTube talking about video games because I love that stuff, and my gaming channel has just about 60,000 subscribers at this point. But as a byproduct of wanting to make my YouTube videos better, I've watched thousands of hours of video talking about making YouTube videos, getting good B-roll, how YouTube works, and I found that to be incredibly interesting, and I want to pass on what I've learned because it's fun for me. In a way, YouTube is the best video game that I've ever played. But that doesn't answer what my videos do for you. That's what they do for me. And if I'm going to make a successful YouTube channel, then I have to identify exactly what the audience wants from my YouTube channel. So for you, I hope that each video I publish will teach you a skill or a strategy about YouTube without wasting any of your time. I want each video to give you just enough context to help you understand the point that I'm trying to get across without meandering off topic too far. So what you need to do to make your channel better is ask yourself those two questions. Who is my audience and what do they want from me? And then use those two questions to identify the idea, the motto of your channel. And by the way, it needs to be simple, less than 90 characters, because anything past that is going to get cut off. Mine is learning content creation together, because I believe that those that teach learn twice. So if I'm helping you learn how to create content, then I'm going to learn not only from the process of teaching you, but from the comments that you leave down below that like button. If we learn together, we both get something out of it. So identify what it is that your channel is going to do for others and for yourself, and use that to make your channel motto and post it on your YouTube channel. And always ask yourself, is the next video that I'm making feeding into that motto? It's so easy to just keep thinking about your channel. It's easy to keep planning your channel, but the most important thing that you can do is you have to start. You have to sit down and press record and get something started, because momentum is what makes YouTube work. And we all know that an object at rest remains at rest unless acted upon by an outside force, meaning that your channel isn't going to do anything until you publish something. So here's what I think you should do. At this point in the video, we've already hopefully identified who your audience is and what they want from you. We're not at the point of niching down yet because we don't know quite what's going to work for us. Just get a general picture. For example, maybe you want to make a channel about movies. There's a lot of different directions that you can go here. Black and white movies, genre films, kung fu movies, video essays, breaking down a shot in a movie and what it means and why the director did it. The point is, now you have ways to experiment. Pick one topic and see if you can come up with questions that you can answer about that topic. For instance, how Hitchcock directed his classics, or why black and white movies are better than everything else, or everything that's wrong with movies in the 70s, what happened to the Western, and what does spaghetti Western mean? All of those are ideas that you can then use in order to sit down and work on titles and thumbnails. Come up with at least 2 to 3 titles and thumbnails that will make your audience curious. You're trying to build what's known as a curiosity gap so that people get interested by your thumbnail. The title closes that gap just a little bit without giving everything away. Here's a great example from Screen Crush. They review Marvel movies and TV shows. You can see here that they're saying there's 61 Easter eggs in this TV show and that I might have missed some of them. Plus, we can see that both Thor and Tony Stark are in the thumbnail. Were they in the episode that he's talking about? Is Tony Stark coming back to the Marvel Cinematic Universe? I had better click and find out. Now, at this point, you are in what I like to call the danger zone because it's very tempting to put something sensational in the thumbnail or title, which everybody calls clickbait. These days, of course, I think that a lot of people just blanket comment clickbait for anything that they don't like. But no matter what, people are going to say that you're using clickbait because you cannot possibly put everything that's in your video into the title and thumbnail. But here's the thing. Clickbait is fine as long as you pay off what's in your title and thumbnail that you're showing right away. I'm going to do an entire video about my thoughts about clickbait in the future, so subscribe for that. All right, we've got ideas, we've got titles, we've got thumbnails. Wait, I haven't recorded anything yet. Yeah, all of that stuff needs to be done first. You want to know why? Because if nobody clicks your video, nobody watches your video. If you put the work into your title and thumbnail first, then script and record afterwards, you're much more likely to match the title and the thumbnail with what's actually in the video. But trying to come up with good packaging for your video after you've already made the video is way, way harder, and I'm speaking from experience here. Now it's time to script, and there's a lot of ways that you can do this. You can just go off the cuff, or you can write everything out word for word. But what you need to keep in mind when you're writing your script is, am I remaining true to the title and thumbnail? Because no amount of click-through rate is going to make up for a low average view duration, which is exactly what's going to happen if you don't deliver on the promise that you gave in that title and thumbnail right away. Here's something my wife complains about all of the time. She is a fantastic cook, but sometimes you got to get ideas from somewhere else. So she'll Google recipe ideas, and then she'll have to read through the author's entire family history before they tell her how many teaspoons of nutmeg to put in the dry mix. What I mean is that you have to get to the point fast. If you don't get to the point fast, the audience, they're just going to start skipping around in your video. If they do that, then they won't be engaged and they'll probably end up leaving. Maybe something on the sidebar of YouTube will grab their attention. They'll leave and they'll never come back. Now, some people say that if you pay off your title and thumbnail right away, then people are going to leave. So you should make the audience wait until the end of the video in order to give them the information that they came for. I've tried it, and you know what happens? People just skip to the end of the video anyway. So what you need to do is give them the payoff that they need and then give them a reason to stick around. Look at the title and thumbnail that I used for this particular video. In my first 20 seconds, I paid that off, but then I said, let's talk about why, hopefully giving you a reason to stick around. So once you've got your script written, then you got to think about how do you finish it off. A lot of people try and finish the script and they're going to be tempted to ask for people to subscribe or do stuff like that at the end of the video. To me, I feel like the end is one of the worst places to ask people to do that. Asking for these things should be something that is very seldom and only in organic ways, like earlier when I mentioned that I had an upcoming video and I asked you to subscribe if you wanted to check that out. It's quick, it's out of the way, and at the end of the video, that's where you should be doing the most important thing that you can. Tell them what video that they should watch next. So at the end of your Hitchcock video, you can say, and you want to know why black and white films are better? Check out this video right here. Okay, you've scripted, you've shot, you've edited your first video. When do you publish it? Well, what if I told you don't publish it? What do? Well, now it's time to work on your second video, your third video, your fourth video, and you're not going to publish any of them, not until you've got your fifth video done. Why? Well, let's say you are really good at YouTube and right out of the park, your first video takes off. After the viewer gets to the end of that video, they're gonna be like, damn, that was great. And then because you only have one video, YouTube has no choice but to recommend some other channel that then they go and watch that and they forget all about you. This is why you're planning on making multiple videos at once, to help YouTube extend the session time with that viewer. So when the viewer finishes your masterpiece, there's another masterpiece waiting for them right then and there, and then another, and then another, and then another. This is a huge signal to YouTube that your videos are a good recommendation for this viewer, and that's what YouTube loves. They want to find videos that make the viewers happy, but you can't do this by just winging it. You have to have a plan. So if you want to know how I organized my content plan in order to make this channel a success this year, then check out this video right here.